Hey everybody, Scoutcrafter here again. I know when I'm down here a lot of times, if you're like me, when you see people filming around their basement or something like that, or one of the guys you follow, you tend to look in the back and you say, what is that back there? What's going on? Well, we're going to have a mishmash today, but one of the things is Mr. Doughboy, 356, who's, I'll put his link in the bottom here, and you can see he's on YouTube. I follow him. He makes a lot of great stuff out of coins and things like that, you know, coin bells and whatever. Anyway, he asked me in the comments the other day, he goes, I see that marionette behind you. What's the story with that? So let's check it out. Just like collecting light bulbs, I know we all went through our phase of making marionettes. And well, this was I was making some marionettes. I found an old book, an antique book. I have a lot of antique books, some good stuff. And in there, it showed how to make marionettes. This is from years ago, right? But what's interesting about marionettes are nothing more than puppets that usually hang from strings and things like that. But when you make a body like this out of wood, and you can see here, it's just 3 slabs of pine. And then, but it's how the joints move and how they're attached, you know? You can't have joints that don't move normally. Like here, the shoulders they go up so high without, the elbows. You can see the leather patches with tacks. This is a real old book. But you can see how it bends like this, it bends naturally. It don't bend side to side, and the joints, how they bend, even with the wrist, and when you're moving it back and forth. It's pretty interesting. Especially if you see people actually use marionettes or whatever. But the feet, how the ankles don't move side to side, but they move front and back, and they're kind of limited in how they move. So it's pretty interesting how you make up the joints to do that. And when you put clothes on it, obviously, it looks natural, even the way it sits down or whatever. The hands are a little oversized, but that's just done for a kind of a comical effect or whatever. But so yeah, just made this out of some scrap wood that was around the shop, an old book I found. But I made a bunch of them, and this was just one of the early prototypes. But the heads, that's a lot of fun to work on, sculpting heads and things like that. So that's what this is. It's nothing but a marionette, that prototype. Anyway, thanks for the question, Mr. Doughboy, and let's get on to our next subject. Okay, here's another one real quick before I forget. Christina Perez, who's been with the channel forever, and really appreciate that. Special shout out to her. She asked a great question, and I kind of skipped over. She says, how do you have the colors meet on the top of your double take, the wrenches? Well, a good question. What I do is I leave this top here polished. You see here how this transitions? There's like that, well, it's about 3/16 of an inch up here polished. And then this way, one color ends here, and then the other color ends there. And I do the same with all the wrenches that have it, you see? So that's a real nice transition. One color ends on this side, and then nicely transitions to that side without having any overspray or anything else. So in case anybody else was wondering, I know usually we wonder about stuff like that. I hope that answers it. Thanks so much, Christina. Okay, let's get to our next. A lot of people mentioned in the comments the other day that they really enjoyed this this Defiance utility knife job that we did, and so they said they wanted to do it, but see, this is cast iron. That's the difference between some of these old ones. But they said, I wonder if they could do it with something modern. So let's try that out. And to do it, we have a Stanley. This is a classic 199. Now it's a remake of the original 199. There's a little bit of a difference. The original remake, the original one didn't have the lanyard hole in the back, and it had a straight screw. This has the combination Phillips straight screw, and the other one might have been made of a different material, and this one's painted. So let's see what we could do with this, because everybody can get one of these for less than $10 shipped to the house. You probably $5 if you have it as an add-on item. Let's see what we can do with this. Okay, we're about 10 minutes into the project. We got the paint off, and you see how that bubbled up? I never seen paint come off so easy. Well, that's that new stuff they use, the lead stuff they used to use years ago really stuck on there, but it wasn't good for you. But this stuff comes off like unbelievable. There's still a little bit You know, like here, you can see there's a little bit left, but we're going to hit that with the belt sander now. See, that's what we're going to, you can see how it comes off real easy. But already it looks 100% better because you can see here, you see the embellishment here, you know, the dimpling or the checkering or whatever. That's really nice and sharp now because it's not filled in with paint. But what a nice casting. And I think it's aluminum. It's non-magnetic. And aluminum is great, easy to work with, polishes it up beautiful. I'm psyched. This is going to come out nice. Okay, let's get to it. Okay, here's a couple minutes on the belt sander. Now, under no circumstances do you put this on a wire brush. Aluminum and a wire brush does not mix, so do not use a wire brush. Right now, you can see here that I have not a coarse belt, but you got to be very careful with a belt sander. In fact, if you don't feel 100% confident, hand sanding is all you need to do because aluminum is so easy to hand sand. You know, I mean, you could really get in there. But you can see there is a little bit of dings and dents from the, you know, production that paint hides, so we'll have to get those out before. But you can see it's coming out really nice. Already it looks much better. And now we'll go to the fine belt. We'll hit some of these other parts and then we'll go to paint. Okay, here we are after the fine belt. And you see now it's starting to look almost like a polish. And that's just after going over with the fine belt. And then we also hit some of the letters with the fine belt. And don't take long, but you got to make sure you just get everything nice and smooth. Now we're going to polish it and see what we can do. Okay, here we are after polish, and you could see that it is mirrored, okay? But the problem is, as you know, it shows all those micro scratches and everything, but it does look pretty, doesn't it? I mean, a big difference from the painted gray. But now, here's where you have to decide, you know, what you want to do on this, and it's aluminum. Aluminum is a very soft metal, so obviously, whatever you do, this is more or less a show knife because, you know, this will show scratches and fingerprints. And although it does look nice, doesn't it? It's a pretty knife. It's a pretty casting. I like it. Now, we're going to have to see about colors. I'm going to go sleep on it tonight. Okay, we'll be back in the morning. Thanks. Okay, after a good night's sleep, I decided on some clear orange X26 old Tamiya paint, about 25 years old. Now, you know my favorite part. Remember what this knife looked like before we started. And we are calling this project done. Done with 25-year-old Tamiya paint. And that's a clear orange, you could see. And just offsets it a little bit. Looks pretty classy, right? And very shiny. Very shiny. It's a lot of fun. You can do this on a very low budget with no power tools whatsoever. You can make this any color you want or any color combination. Here I chose a clear orange and because I had it, and I did have clear red and green at one time, but I used it for a lens for a boat I made. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this project. This is a little fun, huh? All right, thanks very much for tuning in. Take care. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.